Hello and welcome back to the fan pub. It's Alan Shawn again.
Good to be back. And today's video is all about...
it's part two really. We've just done the running backs. These are the consensus sleepers on Fantasy Pros. So all the experts, in fantasy basically put on their sleepers. We're going from the highest amount of people that have picked them to the lowest. And we'll give you our thoughts on what we think. And let's go. So
it's quite a deep list, isn't it? Most of these wide receivers are quite far off the board. This is wide receiver 60, Jamison Crowder. That seems very cheap.
I mean, we did a PPR sleepers video, and Jamison Crowder was on it. This is before the list was released, so we're definitely on the same page with this one. He's somebody that plays in the slot. He'll probably have a lot of catches. The only thing why he's so low is because of the injury history, and that's what you have to factor in. He played for the Redskins, but when he plays, he gets a lot of catches and he's always open.
He seems to get some really big plays.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, when you're talking PPR, you want catches and
big
plays.
He does catch a lot of... And
they're going to be behind.
Plays,
they're going to be behind an awful lot. It's not a bad pick at 6. Wide receiver 60. I mean, if you've gone running back heavy, it's not a bad time.
Yeah, this is a great guy, especially in, like I say, PPR leagues late on.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Not that price.
He's somebody that get 60 to maybe even 100 catches. I mean, 100 is probably asking a lot, but for down that, even 60 is good down there. Honestly, I think he's great value.
You could imagine him getting sort of 50, between sort of 50, 55, maybe 60, 65 balls.
I can see him getting more than that.
And with a good sort of 800 to 900 yards, and it could be a bit tricky to judge the touchdowns, but 7 to 9 is
the reason I put him on the PPR, because I think he will, the PPR sleepers list, is because I think he will get a lot of catches.
Yeah.
And that Jets offense, I mean, we laugh at the Jets because, that's what you do. But they're actually sneakily getting good. They've got Lev Bell now. They've got Robbie Anderson. He can stretch the field. He's a good player.
And that's what they brought him in for, wasn't it?
Yeah, Crowder's another good one. I mean, Chris Herndon's going to miss 4 games, but he's a good tight end. He's a good receiving tight end, so they'll miss him for a few games. But
because he had some big weeks, didn't he, originally in Washington, didn't he? Jamison.
Yeah, Jamison Crowder, yeah.
And then obviously he's gone to the Jets, and they've brought him in for a reason. I think it's to give Sam Arnold that kind of...
Sam Darnold, yeah. I mean...
That big arm. The big throw, the big opportunity.
Well, and just some, maybe a safety net over the middle. I mean, and just think when Herndon's out the first 4 weeks, who's going to... The Jamison Crowder is a guy that could really benefit from that and, get them catches that would have gone to Herndon before, like going over the middle and taking catches, a bit like Julian Edelman would.
Seems quite good value down there.
It's a no-brainer, honestly.
That's a nice pick.
I love that pick in PPR. I think.
No, it's quite interesting. The experts at the second pick have picked Anthony Miller at wide receiver 55. I don't quite see the value here. I mean, I'm a little bit torn on this one.
He is somebody we flagged up last year as having a lot of talent, but I'm not sure the Chicago offense is going to suit him. It seems like more run-heavy.
Seems like the way they're moving, they're running they're going to run the offense in a completely different way this year, it seems. I'm not quite sure what his role's going to be, and I'm not sure how he's going to be affected by it. So it's at 55, probably there are better targets around there I'd probably look at first.
I don't think he's horrible, but I mean...
It doesn't excite me, where I'm looking for... Like Jamison Crowder, the pick before, I mean, I can get the explosion on potentially big points. I totally see that, but this one I don't. As much.
No. I mean, I do like Miller as a player. I'm not sure if he was if he was playing for someone like the Chiefs or something.
Green Bay, maybe have a great
Green Bay or the Chiefs, then you really want a part of it. But I don't know. Maybe it's okay. I'm not mad.
It's going to take probably a step forward in his second year, but I'm still not completely convinced yet that this is going to be necessarily good for him for this year. I feel there are better targets around there, so I'm not really seeing what the experts are seeing there at that value. So it doesn't really excite me.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I haven't drafted him in any league yet this year. The third one, talking about Green Bay, he is somebody that made our sleepers list. Big fan of him. I was a big fan of him last year.
See the video on what between him and Geronimo Allison, and Geronimo Allison's also on this list, but see the video between the two of them.
Yeah, should we do these together then? So Marquez, Valdes-Scantling, he's wide receiver 44 and Allison's 43, so he's going earlier. But less people are putting him up as a sleeper, so I'm not sure if that's the right way round.
See, the question would be on this, and this is where it's very simple, is obviously the thing is, if whoever the wide receiver 2 is, the numbers don't lie. So when you go back and examine the evidence of what that generally means, it's somewhere between 800 and 900 yards, 7 to 9 touchdowns regularly, systematically within that offense, which makes sense. The question is which one. I think it's MVS for lots of reasons. Allison's coming back from a big injury. MVS has had a whole year to mature under Rodgers. I just think everything bodes well for him, and that's why I'm easily confident picking him over Geronimo Allison.
But I mean, the ADP has Allison ahead, so it is a judgment call. It could go either way, but both could. Yeah, I mean, both could have a value, and whichever one does win the second wide receiver job, they're going to have a value because they're playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Let's help you out. Okay, let's make it crystal clear. We see that you've seen the video on it. You know I already spell out MVS. I'm still sticking to that, and if I'm wrong, come back and haunt me. But I'm telling you now, he's the guy that's going to win that job out, not Geronimo Allison. Allison will have a role, but this is where it's brilliant in fantasy because you've got to stake your claim, put your flag down on the player. I've seen enough. The tape does not lie to me. I like what MVS brings to the table. I think so do the Green Bay, and I think that's why he's going to end up with that second role quietly comfortable, and Geronimo Allison will have the odd series here and there. And MVS is quite dangerous. He's a very interesting player for this year, and that could be a very big steal for somebody.
Yeah, I mean, a lot might depend on how they perform, drop-wise and things like that.
A couple of mistakes could always kill off your fantasy value.
Valdes-Scantling actually had a better rookie year than Devontae Adams, and we all know how good he is. So
yeah, thanks.
Yeah, for a rookie year, I mean, remember he was their third wide receiver drafted behind Brown and Jamon Moore. So he had really made the jump already past those two. And Geronimo Allison coming back from injuries.
We say it all the time here, don't we? That every wide receiver is entitled to make a leap the second year or third year of their tape. So, I mean, if he makes any kind of leap, he could really be electric. So I think it's an absolute steal for me. MVS is really worth targeting. And again...
And Geronimo Allison, again...
I did in this one, I took him. So again, in this draft, I absolutely backed him up because I had no hesitation taking him on that with limited wide receivers because I just think he's just so good.
I also own a lot of shares of him, so big fans. All right, number 4 or 5 if you include Geronimo Allison is Michael Gallup, wide receiver for the Cowboys. I can see why. He's a second season receiver.
Yeah.
But Dallas, with Zeke hasn't come back at the time of us recording.
It's an interesting problem.
We're a run-first team, though, really.
It's a really weird situation Dallas find themselves in. I kind of feel, if I'm honest, I still stand by the simple claim that Elliott plays by week 1. Gordon doesn't. We'll see how it plays out. And I think the reason is Dallas will pay their players. I am a bit concerned that Ezekiel Elliott, mistake for this year, and it is a mistake, is trying to get the owner to do more when you've still got 2 years of a deal left. I think is a bit cheeky, and then to
Jerry Jones doesn't cover himself in glory either.
Nobody has, but I suspect at the end of the day, Dallas, this is a big year. They want to win, and I think you win through your stars. So hopefully it all gets settled. Gallup will, if he doesn't, Gallup's value, it probably makes sense. That's why the experts are picking him here. I'm not a huge fan yet. I haven't seen enough tape to really warrant me thinking he's going to do more than what he's going to. I don't see it.
But wide receiver 52 is not a big price.
No, it's no big price. I mean, if you think there's a big explosion of points to come, then fair enough. But I'm not completely convinced. A bit like Anthony Miller for this year. I'm not totally sold. I don't see where the upside is. I don't think Dallas are going to be.
But you're not totally against me.
No, I don't think they're going to be a pass team. I mean, that's the thing. It's not going to be pass first, is it? It's going to be run first, irrespective of who's doing it. And it will be the passing game will be to sprinkle and keep the defense honest.
I mean, Gallup is 52. The next guy is wide receiver 53, and I think this guy's got a much better chance of putting up big points. And that's Tyrell Williams.
Particularly now.
He's now with Oakland, and Antonio Brown, as we speak, he's become a bit of a circus. There's a lot going on. His head doesn't seem to be in the game, although he's an elite player when he plays.
I mean, this guy could arguably end up being a wide receiver 1 numbers because if Brown, for whatever reason, loses it completely, this guy could by de facto end up with all the targets, and that's huge.
Yeah,
what an opportunity he could have.
And he's a good player. He's probably someone that's been underrated. He was good with the Chargers, I thought.
A few injuries held him back. That's all it's really
been. And that's always a worry with him. But actually, Sniper is somebody that asked us to do a video on him, and we're happy to do videos in that way. He thinks he's a good sleeper, and the more you look at it, you actually have to agree with him because of just the reason Sean said. If Brown's head isn't in the game, or
his frostbitten feet don't make it to the field.
Yeah, I mean,
then
for various reasons,
it's a great opportunity. I mean, again, if you're looking at players that you think could explode past the numbers, definitely he's one of those wide receivers. I'm quietly happy to take a share.
Wide receiver 53. I'd rather take shots on him than Michael
definitely,
Gallup,
100%.
52.
Yeah,
and Miller with 55.
I just think there's much more upside with Tyrell Williams for this year.
Okay, the next guy on the list with Seattle, it's David Moore. He's wide receiver 98, so he's any price you like in a deeper league.
I mean, I get it.
I read something. Carroll came out and he said, "We need these with Doug Baldwin gone. We need these players to step forward." And one of the ones he picked up was David Moore. He says he's good enough to do it, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Can he do it? We'll see. But at
how
98,
many wide receivers at Seattle, other than the big ones, the Doug Baldwin's of this, have actually matured into anything? There's always been a flash of a wide receiver here or there that suddenly could be the next big thing, and they fade by the wayside rapidly fast. It's the graveyard, like Miami's the graveyard of running backs after a season. I think it's the graveyard of wide receivers in Seattle because for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but they just never seem to mature into
see it though because.
I mean,
Lockett's the number one there. I think nobody.
I totally get the price because it's only 98. So it's your last pick of dart throw.
Lockett has an injury history. I mean, he played all last year and he showed how good he was, but he is frail. And that if he goes down, then John Brown value goes up again. So there's that upside. Do I think it's exciting? I think Seattle are a running team. Do I hate it? No, I think it's all right. And I can see why he would be there.
I can see why he's on the experts list, but you'll never find a share in my team for this year. There's just too many other players down. There's too many other players I would take dart throws on than him. I can't see the explosion of points I'm looking for. I
think if you're in a really deep league, then
it would have to be a massive.
If you get to the point where you're picking wide receiver 98, then it's fine.
Yeah, that's going to be rare, though, isn't it?
At all.
Very rare, but not for me. But I get it.
Okay, number 8. He's sort of. A deep threat. I mean, his nickname is Downtown John Brown, so he can explode at any time.
Wide receiver 59.
Wide receiver 59 off the board, and he's a good player. He's had sickle cell injuries, which has sort of held him back, from being the player he really could be. But Josh Allen's got a big arm. He's with Buffalo now, John Brown. So there is a. I don't think he'll get a lot of catches, but when they come, there'll be big plays.
I think he's a perfect target in standard leagues because when you want the points to come, they come in bunches. Yeah. It's an ideal player, and his thing is injury. And I hate players where I'm going if he stays healthy. I hate players like that, and that's the problem with him. And it's not.
But why receive 59?
But again, as a dart throw,
that actually factored into.
I prefer him over a number of the wide receivers we've said. He may be slightly. Technically cheaper to get because I can get that's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Not a 59. That's okay. He's got a chance, and he may prove to be better than most people.
He's somebody if you're playing somebody in your league and they've got a good team, and you're probably a 10-point underdog in the game. He's the sort of guy you can put in your flex, and he has one big catch
I think
for like 80 yards of a touchdown.
I think you highlight one of the real things that isn't talked about in fantasy there, Al. That's a really good point, is that the hidden players where you as you say, after a few weeks, it's difficult, the first few weeks, it's difficult to judge how your team's doing. But if you look at your team, that team, on a point-by-point basis, whatever the league metrics is, and you're saying that's what that player is delivering me consistently, and you look at your team and you think, yeah, it's okay, but I need the boom, then John Brown can give that. That's the players you have to target.
There's a few players like that, aren't there? Like Deshaun Jackson. Kenny Stills is another one, a big catcher.
Corey Davis will have one or two good games a year, and
but you're paying a bigger price.
You pay a premium for that. So good point.
Okay, number 9 is somebody that was on our sleepers list. I've come around from not liking him to really being quite a big fan of his now, and that's Curtis Samuel at 40. Just the camp rumours coming from the coaches and everything. He's been uncoverable, so he's always wide open.
It's looked good in pre-season as well.
It's his second season in the league. In
pre-season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he looks like he could be a player.
It's one thing to say at camp. It's another thing to do it in the pre-season. He's doing it in the pre-season. He does look good. The tape isn't lying. He has made a step up. I'm kind of curious to see how big that step is going to be once he reaches the proper NFL, once he reaches the games. Could be huge. And at 40,
they put him in on the sort of jet sweeps as well.
And at 40, it's a real shot because I think there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, he made our sleepers list as well. So big fans of his. Wide receiver 40. Go out and get him.
Get some shares if you can.
Yeah.
And definitely one to watch for this year. I think he'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, I think he might even outperform DJ Moore. That's quite a bold thing to say because DJ Moore's going a lot higher, and he is a wide receiver 1, but. Samuel could be sneakily good value, I think.
That's a great pick. And we leads on with our old faithful.
Now, this is one of our favourites. This guy was on our sleeper list, and there's a good reason for this. He's been woefully underrated.
It's ridiculous because he's had one bad injury.
This guy was top of the wide receiver tree for about 8 weeks last year. He's an explosive player when he plays. The crowd love him. He's an elite player, and he's going at wide receiver 42.
Now, there's good news on this as well. This is Emmanuel Sanders because we've been talking about this for a while, so it's not a surprise to us because this is the thing. We've looked at the tape of the player's recovery, and what I mean by that is we've looked at anything we can find when he's working out, when he's in training, anything. So before pre-season we said he's back, he's nearly all the way back. Now they're saying, yeah, he's all the way back. Now you're seeing pre-season games, he's all the way back. That's amazing. That shows you the heart of the player at this age. I mean, he's a veteran, he's 32 years old, but of 42, with a player that's got the potential every week to give you, low-end wide receiver 2 numbers at minimum, that's a price worth paying all day
This
long.
guy could be the steal of the draft. I absolutely love him. Go out and get him. Wide receiver 42 is ridiculous.
When you come back from an injury like this at this age, it shows you the kind of determination this guy's got, because he knows he's only got a limited amount of time left, whether it's 1 or 2 years left. So to come back, it shows tremendous courage and heart, and those kind of players never let you down in fantasy.
And he's cheap as chips. Go and get him. Honestly, it's a steal of the draft. You won't regret it.
I think I did take him in that one as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh no, I didn't get him in that one. No, somebody else got him there, but that's fair enough. Yeah, don't blame him. In other drafts,
yeah, he went in round 5 in that. So
I did get him in another draft. I was happy to get him, but he is great. We both like him. We both got shares of him. We'll probably get more shares before the season is done.
When I went into a live draft, my number 1 target was Emmanuel Sanders, but I didn't want to. I mean, and guess he stole him off me.
Yeah, well, you do.
So obviously, same ideas.
It's value.
It's just
it's such good value
it's
down there.
Incredible value.
When you got a wide receiver, it's a wide receiver 1. They're in an offense that you're going to need to move the ball through the air. They're going to be chasing games as well, so it's going to bode well for him. And he tends to get peppered with targets. So
he's just a great player.
Look what's around him, right? Just to put comparisons in this: 43 Geronimo, Allison, no contest. MVS, I like MVS, but no contest. This is Emmanuel Sanders, and so. God, that's just great value. I mean, you just got to grab it.
Go and get him. Okay, well, that's the 10 wide receivers. Obviously, we like some, we don't like some. Some are okay. What do you think? Leave your comments down and let us know who you think you should be targeting.
Like, comment, subscribe. Give us your thoughts. Give us your feelings. Everything is worthwhile, and if there's a reason why we're not high on a player and we should be, tell us, because we'd like to hear those things.
Okay. Consider subscribing. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.